And I should be live right now. I hope so. Hi, everyone in the chat. I don't know how many people, how big audience we're going to have today, but I can see that Iris and Haggis are already present, which is good to see because I'm going to talk today with our friend, the one and only Audit LA. Welcome.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me on today.
Yeah, I really wanted to talk with you because it's been almost a year since we had a chat together, and I can see Iris is very happy.
Oh, hey, guys.
And
My love to all them.
JB808. Yeah, let's say hi to everyone who's coming in the chat while we're waiting
Oh,
for.
hey, Irish. Hey, Haggis and JB. Yep.
Yeah.
Great teams.
Yes, absolutely. Because I don't really have like a very, very strict script for today. I just wanted to catch up with you and find out what's happened in the last 10 months. And of course, most of it I'm aware of, but maybe the audience is not aware of, and what's going to happen next. So I think I wanted to take this time to talk with you.
Sure.
And I can see Monica is also in the chat, Creative Monica from
Hey,
Norway.
Monica.
So we have a very international audience today.
Awesome. Love it.
Yeah. And something we've been talking a lot about is the permits on L. Ron Hubbard Way. And I saw actually that Ashley was live before, and they had already blocked the road over there.
I'm sure they did get their permit for Halloween. They did, but it's funny. At 8:30 in the morning, they did not have it. So sometime after 8:30 in the morning, they did get it yesterday.
Yeah. Do they have some kind of separate permits that they can close the street before the event starts, or?
Well, if the event, okay. Do you want me to explain like what happened with the last one? Because I have a feeling they're going to use the same excuse for this one.
Yes, yes,
Okay,
please.
okay. Well, the last one for the Day of the Dead, I asked, I did a big blast, like, hey, the city portal says they only had their permit for October 18th and 19th, but here it is the 17th. We called the police. The police went and said that they saw two separate permits from BSS, the city seal. And so that this is like a really interesting. And so Timo Yanes wrote back and said, no, they only have a permit for the 18th and 19th. There's no permit for the 17th. So I was like, okay, that's interesting. So I went to the police commission meeting on Tuesday and spoke and said, unless you can find another permit, because I'm allegedly your officers may have been lied to because the BSS is saying there was nothing for Friday. And he didn't add on any setup time or anything, or when that would be. So within 40 minutes of me speaking at the police commission, all of a sudden I hear from Mr. Yanis again, and he's saying, oh, I didn't mean to confuse you, but they had permission to set up on Friday from 8 a.m. And I'm like, would have been convenient had you stated that originally, when you said there was no permit for Friday. So apparently they gave them a time to set up, which is 8 a.m. So I don't know why they didn't just get the permit from 8 a.m. Friday, through Sunday, right? That would solve problems. So,
Yeah.
but I did use it to say that's why we need this process open on the portal, because they don't show you the stuff, and we don't get to see the permit. We have to see PRA it, and that's well after the fact. So now you're getting the police involved, you're getting everyone involved because they won't just show the permit. And I still want proof that what he's telling me is correct. So I have a feeling that's probably what they're doing this time. Oh, we need extra time. Instead of putting it, but it needs to be put in permit form, in my opinion, unless it legally is allowed to do it this way. But I have a feeling it's that same deal where it's kind of like it's not into the permit, but somehow they got the permission to do it.
So potentially like a verbal agreement or
I would think it has to be in writing somewhere. I would think it would have to be part, I don't think you can do verbals with that kind of thing. But I would think that maybe like when you got the permit, like we got like somewhere in writing, it could be through emails or something, maybe not like how we got the permission to do the porta potty after we applied for the permit, but it was in writing because you needed to get that permission. And, so I could prove it was in writing when they came trying to challenge it. But it's probably something like that. So I'm trying to find all the emails to do the detective work to see, okay, how's this happening and who's doing what?
Yeah, and this is actually a kind of good segue to the actual fact that everything that we know now is something that we have found out along the way, and you have been in the forefront of finding out about things as we go along. Because
Yes,
I think it was last November we talked, or early December, and at that time the planters were still in place over there.
I remember.
And we were going on about it for months before we even found out that they had actually got some kind of warning about those planters. Can you explain a little bit about what was happening in the background?
Can you hear me? Sorry, a call came through.
Yeah.
Yeah, so city was telling them they had to remove it because you know how like during public comment they can't respond to us. But
Mm.
I finally through CPRAs, it finally called up and I was able to see that they were not only given the notice by mail, posted on the everything, they were told to remove it. They wouldn't. So that's when they hired that Bill Delvac because they wanted to get the street vacation and get those planters as part of their R permit. But the city
Mm-hmm.
was saying you have to do a certain process with those planters. You can't put them there first and then
Mm.
beg for forgiveness later. So they did charge them and they weren't moving it and they were told to remove them. They did
Mm.
not. And so they were fined, but they were also charged like not, I don't think it's like criminal, it's more administrative, I believe, or some kind of
Mm-hmm.
citation charges. But the city attorney was going after them. They had hearing dates set. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, the public's not allowed to go to the hearing. It's private, it's more administrative. And so what
Mm.
happened was, we got that CASP report,
Yeah.
and within a day of putting that out there, the planters started disappearing.
Yeah.
And so, or like drastically, and they were gone within the week.
Yeah.
And so, but they still, I found out, were charged. They could not get out of those fines. I don't know. I don't remember how much they were. I want to say maybe 3,000, but they did pay the fine. So the Moxon was saying, look, we paid the fines and everything, and they're removed. So there should be no problem now. Like they didn't want any kind of adjudication against them. So
Mm.
they worked out like a deal. Okay, we'll pay the fine. They're removed. We don't want any, I guess, like, you know what I mean, adjudication that they're found guilty or and have that
Yeah.
against them.
Yeah. Okay.
But but they have two current cases. I'm still trying to find out what that is through building and
Mm-hmm.
safety services. They do have two open cases right now, and I'm trying to find out what that's about. But I'm waiting. It's going to take them a little bit of time, they said, to get back to me. So
Okay.
it does look like the city is dealing with certain things.
Yeah. There was talk at one point about the planters damaging the sidewalk over there. Was there some damage that was discovered after they moved it?
Tremendous amount of damage.
Okay.
Well, I mean, just the whole thing created damage. The whole thing with the water, it made it, because I used to be able to go up and down there. Then after the
Yeah.
encampment, it got harder. And remember, I got
Mm-hmm.
tipped over, and it tipped a bit, and then got
Yeah.
stuck once. But now it's I won't even try. It's like I can't even go down there at all. So it's progressively getting worse. I don't think they were fined for that, but I'm not sure because, like I said, there are two open cases, and I don't know what they are yet. So still
Mm-hmm.
waiting on that. But they didn't. I don't know if the city actually really came out and really assessed the damage to the sidewalk,
Yeah.
but that's pending. But there is a lot of complaints about it, so that
Yeah.
could be one of the cases.
Yeah. And I think it would maybe be a good time to remind the Board of Public Works once again about that, because we have talked about it before, but at that time it was also a little bit of speculation because the planters were in place, so we could not really see what was going on and what was the result of it. But
But well, something is going on. Sorry, I didn't mean to interject, but because they were, remember, a couple of weeks ago, shaving down the bump. So that means they're not doing that out of the goodness of their heart. They're doing that because they're again looking at facing something. So
yeah,
there's a reason they're sending their people out to try to get it passable with the ADA. But it could be that
yeah,
it could be the ADA Disability Commission, because they do send people out like almost immediately last time anyway to check things. So it could be that putting pressure too.
yeah. And Haggis is also mentioning about the water that was run in the
Hmm.
in the
It was
middle of the
horrible.
night for hours on end, and that left its mark as well
Sure
on the
did.
pavement. Yeah. Other things we've been working on in the public works. There's been a lot of things. There's also been a lot of these. Is it CPRA?
The CPRA is when you request documents. Are you
Yeah.
talking about CPAP? And then
No, the
CPAP is the
CP.
police
No,
meeting.
yeah, I'm talking about the CPRA request
Hmm.
because I think that's also something that was, even though I knew there was things going on in the background, since we talked last time, you have got a tremendous amount of information via these
Yes.
requests. So for anyone saying that what we do has no impact, or Scientology is not interested in what we are doing, is total nonsense.
Complete
Because
nonsense.
because the lines are hot between Scientology and the city officials. Is there
Yes.
some is there something like that you can think of on top of your head that is like really memorable, or something interesting that?
Absolutely. Well, besides them trying to fair game me and try to get the city all turned against me with absolute lies,
Yeah.
provable
Yeah.
lies, which is so ridiculous. Why
Yes.
would you slander someone when I can prove
Mm,
it's untrue? So, but whatever, they probably just think I'm not going to get, it's fine, this stuff. But
mm,
so the big one is that on L. Ron Hubbard Way, okay, you know how it's no parking, right?
mm.
And with the Father's Day, I'm so very happy. I love that event. It was a great event.
Yeah.
And remember, we had our cars parked there,
Yeah.
and the city came because they got so many calls from Scientology harassing, them. So they dispatched. She said it was I think it was like 20 years of working there. It's the first time she was ever dispatched to a call like
Mm-hmm.
that. So that just shows you how desperately they didn't want us there.
Mm.
But anyway, they made us leave. Remember, they said no. There's no parking signs. You have to leave, or you're going to be ticketed and towed. There's no
Yeah.
getting around it. So I found out, okay, because I went to the city and I said, I was kicked out. I said, you need to prove to me that it's no parking. I've asked this before, and there's been no information given to me to prove it's no parking. I said, if you do not give me this, information, I will sue the city for color of
Mm,
law. And so,
mm,
and they don't have anything. So I found that there was these emails, but they went to Jennifer Kroskoff, and
mm,
said, well, like basically, where's the proof that it's no parking? She
mm.
sent it to Moxon, who wrote this huge, of course, slamming everybody and like everybody's the devil and when they hate us and But then down at the end, he finally sends this letter from 1997, and it was a memo from a mid-level, the same level as the engineer who's writing to them now, saying that yes,
Mm.
they signed off on it being no parking. But like, so he's taken that as proof that see, this is a no parking street. Anyone with
Yeah.
common sense would know that a mid-level engineer cannot
Mm.
permanently shut down a street for parking. That would have to go through city council. Nothing
Yeah.
beyond that letter. So I have a feeling they, and that's with the name change and all, they probably got this
Mm.
engineer to say, sure, yeah, we don't mind, it's no parking, not a big deal. Different
Mm.
times back then, signed off on it.
Mm.
And then they try to
Mm.
take it to the next process and they got shut down. That's my guess.
Yeah.
And so anyway, but he didn't mention, he left a big piece of information out. So he's trying to say that this is why it's no parking. So I wrote back and I said, look, he's giving you that memo. But I
Mm.
said, here's my memos that I got through CPRAs that they were issued no parking in 2008 for
Mm.
Friday, Saturday, and Sundays for their, graduations. Although we know that's when Anonymous came.
Yeah.
And so I said, not only were you did, so they had this permit, went all the way through to city council, like I would expect it would have to. And it got
Mm.
approved for 2008 to 2010, 2-year window. But I said,
Mm.
you guys don't even realize that they dragged you into prior restraint because that was to prevent people from going there to protest. It had nothing to do with it. All the graduates would just park in their parking lot. I mean, come on, or their
Mm.
garage, common sense, right? So I said, not only are you involved at prior restraint, but I said that legislation there sunsetted in 2010. I said, unless you can prove or show me anything from 2010, because I said, we can't rely on that memo from 1997 because it doesn't make sense. If they had no parking permanently in 1997, why would they need to apply again in 2008 for no parking?
Exactly.
You wouldn't, right? Common sense, people. So I said, you need to prove, or I said, I will sue the city for kicking me out because you cannot prove from 2010 to now that there's no parking. So I went to the LADOT meeting, commissioner meeting, and the big shot guy was there too. And I said, did you get my emails from this morning or last night? And he goes, I did. And so I did the presentation, I spoke and he had my email was like really in depth, very massive, lots of evidence. And he thanked me for submitting that. And he said, yeah, he goes, we'll be in touch. But then I left the meeting within 40 minutes, half hour. I get 3 emails from LaDOT saying, okay, we're going to need a few weeks to really investigate this and look into it. I'm like, okay, if you can prove that there's been no parking from 2010 to now, we're good. And if they want to apply for it, they have to do it legally. They have to go through the process. They cannot hijack a street. It needs to be right through city council where they have public comment. We get to comment and then they decide. That's how it has to be done. They can't just kidnap a street. So that's where we're at with that now. And that's pretty huge because now I know they're very upset because they're very upset that we're challenging the parking because that's, he's saying these are a hateful group and we need to protect ourselves. And I said, actually, we're not. I said, we're trying to rescue, we're trying to help we're trying to keep and make sure that their people are okay. We're actually pro-Scientologist. We're just, we're dealing with their organizational heads but not the people. So I make it very clear to the city that we care very much about the Scientologist. We're there to help anyone that wants to be helped. And so now we just have to wait a few weeks till they do their investigation and see what happens. But that's why I want to push hard at that right now.
Yeah. And that's actually really interesting that this kind of slandering and lying lies towards the activists and individuals has now moved also into the city officials, because I recall when the protest originally started, they were making all kind of crazy claims to the police when they were dialing 911. Now we have actually written evidence of all kind of slander towards people who are calling meetings and trying to change things.
Well, at the end of the day, we're just asking the city to make them abide by the laws, right? I mean, so they're slandering and harassing us for asking for the city to require Scientology to abide by the laws that everyone else has to abide by. That's it. We're not doing anything else. I'm not even I don't even consider myself really a protester. I go and I monitor, say Halloween, whatever. I'll monitor what's going on. I capture it by camera, but I'm not really one that's going out and protesting. I don't consider myself. I consider, and so I love it. I want to learn, I want to do more what you do. And sometimes it's fun, but, but I just haven't been, that's not really what I've been doing the past year or so, since the test center. So to really go after me is because I think that they are afraid of what's happening behind the scenes. It's not just because I think they would rather have the protest at L. Ron Hubbard way, even though they would give everyone a lot of flack and go against them, but at least it was in some way contained. Yeah, it went out on YouTube, but it didn't go to city officials. Now we're taking all the footage, all the protesters who did the hard work being there and doing that, and taking that to the city officials and saying, look, here's the elder abuse, here's the violation of people's rights, here's the lies, here's the illegalities. And now, it's going to somebody that can hold them accountable.
Yeah. And if I recall correctly, they were saying it was a hate group lobbying against Scientology.
They're still saying that. And every time I see it, I put an email, I sent it and I said, this is absolute lies. We want to rescue, we're here, and then, so you just have to counter. Every time you find it, you have to counter. I never let their lies sit there. Whenever I find it, I counter. I'll write, I don't care if there's 10 officers, I'll write to each one and say, this is a lie. This is part of fair gaming. And here's the truth. And then I'll educate them a bit, because that's the only way to really fight it is to counteract their lies with truth.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's excellent that you can actually get this information because, for example, I have only got very small bits of information in Denmark regarding the communication that Scientology has had with them. But because I received this, what you would call it equivalent of discovery, all the evidence they had provided the police in order to get a restraining order, there was a note that someone had made a crime report for defamation. And I was asking police here, I said, what is this? Can't I even, answer to this? I see that there's an open case regarding defamation and I have no idea what's going on. And basically what they said to me was just that if there's nothing to investigate, you'll never hear from us.
Oh, wow. Interesting. But Kirsten Peterson's trying to get me arrested.
Yeah, but this is the kind of like which makes our situation difficult, is that we only get a fraction of the claims. We find out what they're making and what they are doing,
and we find it late, because
yes.
She was doing that, I believe, in May or March, and I just found out. So I could have been, if she was successful, I could have been arrested or something, not knowing. So it's very dangerous, actually.
Yes, extremely harmful. It could be, you have a health condition, it's not like, it would be easy situation for you. And also not knowing even about these claims in advance.
Right.
But, we just need to be, prepared for everything and hope that the work is bearing fruit. I wanted to show something, because I'm not sure if everyone was aware that we had this little book project.
Oh, yeah. I love it.
Yeah. Can you explain a little bit while I find the video of what we were doing?
A wonderful, wonderful protester advocate named Mirjam. We were all thinking about it, but she's the one who said, no, she's the one who took the bull by the horns and said, we're doing this, and this is what we need to do. And I said, okay, let's do it. And it may have not have ever gotten off the ground anytime soon, because we're all so busy, if she didn't put her foot down and say, let's do this now. So kudos to Mirjam. And so what we're doing is, Jamie has this new book out, and it's a great book. It's not just only the bad sides, also the good that he's done, and was able to rise from like a phoenix from the ashes and really do great and amazing things. But he does very much, and thankfully really details the abuses and everything that the children were going through back when he was there. And so we are, thanks to everybody who's been contributing, sending books or, sending the money to buy the books, we are passing them out. And so far we have the police commission it's been delivered to them, although we have one new commissioner. So we had to give one more to them. We've given it out to the public works already. And we have almost all of the city council. We have 3 more that needs to be done. And then we need to do the city attorney for there. So it's 4 there, 5 including the police commissioner. And then there's going to be another new police commissioner, because Earl Sothers just stepped down. So 6. And then we're going to kind of hit the 2 neighborhood councils. If we'll just do it a little bit at a time. It's not, a rush thing, but East Hollywood and then Central Hollywood, to kind of, because since the ones that are doing the most with around these entities, and Coulter from East Hollywood Neighborhood Council, he is running against Hugo. So it's very interesting. So I think it's really important that we all kind of, let him know, like he's aware, because we've been going to the meetings for over a year now, but I would like him to get this book into his hands, and we can really hopefully see where he stands on helping getting us to the next step if he's running against Hugo.
Absolutely. And I was talking with Jamie a few weeks ago when you actually came and visited the live, and somehow you convinced Jamie to actually call into the public works this Monday, right?
He didn't. I think Laura did more, because I think Laura was the one I was able to get him to come. He said he he would be interested, because I said, could he come at least to introduce? I think it would be great. And so Laura got him to come Monday, not only to Public Works, but also the Central Hollywood Neighborhood Council. And they're a very relaxed group. So I think, but he did amazing. He was so powerful. And then Laura, the two of them, when they get together, because then Laura was off the charts great. You know, I mean, she's always doing great anyway, but you know what I mean? But it's just, they worked so well together at that meeting that it was powerful. And I saw, if anyone has read it yet, I did have somebody email me, I won't say who, saying that they are definitely going to read it. And I had other people, like at the police commission, like other people come to me and said they would like a copy because they would want to read it. And they're kind of high level, but we just didn't have them on the list. But I think they're reading it. I do. I think at minimum, I think they want to see what we've been talking about.
Exactly.
Curiosity.
Yeah, I'm just going to play this and we can continue chatting after that. I hope the sound is loud enough here. Let's see.
We'll move next to Jamie.
Hi, my name is Jamie Mustard. I'm the author of the book that you've been given and was asked to come and say hi today. And I just want to say that I really appreciate you taking our claims seriously. I want to say I'm calling because I would like you to consider revoking L. Ron Hubbard Way. I was trafficked on that street as a child. I cleaned air vents at 7 years old when I first moved in with a toxic chemical called the royal jelly all day, every day for weeks. I cleared fiberglass at 9 years old without protection above that building. So I was in the FBI raid at 7 years old where Hubbard was an unindicted co-conspirator. The city of LA failed me, and the laws that would have protected me were not implemented until 2003 in terms of human trafficking. And I'm asking for you to reconsider not considering to fail me and understand it's very difficult for me to see L. Ron Hubbard Way on a street called North Berendo that I grew up with that represents my harm.
He also spoke in the agenda and they didn't call him off topic, which was amazing. So if you find him on the, he continues with what he was saying, and it was powerful.
Okay, I was not aware of that. Let me just stop sharing here for a moment, and I will try and find it on the.
Yeah, it comes right after that almost, because they do public comment. You know, the agenda. I know I always talk on. Probably Yvonne maybe talked, and then it might be him and Laura. I'm not sure what order they're in.
Yes, let me see. Do we have the transcript? Normally there's
right style, right. It was so powerful. The city of LA failed me. If that didn't hit them, they're heartless.
Absolutely. I will just find the okay, so we have the multiple agenda item, and I was not aware that he continued talking, but he was also talking in another meeting as well, right?
Yeah, CHNC, and I'm going to try to get the what do you call it, like the recording of it. I'm going to see Pierre it or that Sunshines, but yeah, he did great there too.
Okay,
like for first time, that was powerful. You know what I mean? Like that. If he was nervous, it didn't show.
No, absolutely not. That was really cool. That was really cool. Okay. I think I found the right spot here. So. Dead air. Okay. Oh, I lost it again. Apparently this is, I will just do it while we're sharing the screen.
The city attorney was so respectful. She did not call him off topic.
Yeah, I think they have been much more respectful with that also recently.
Yes.
Okay, we have Laura, and I saw Jamie here. Okay, so we go from here. Is it not playing?
The proper permits and not
Thank you. That's 60 seconds. And Jamie, I see that your hand is raised. Would you like to offer commentary on any of our agendized items this morning?
Yes, the minutes.
You'll have 1 minute. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, no, I'm just listening to, this talk on the permits in the minutes, and I just wanted to add a couple things that I wasn't able to finish with last time that I think are appropriate. One is hundreds of us kids have spoken out. There's records of this on YouTube. We give you a video of kids that have put a name. We all carry so much shame. There's thousands of us, not hundreds of us, but hundreds of us have spoken out. Secondly, when I was a kid walking around the streets of LA, I never went to school growing up in this environment. When I was a kid walking around the streets of LA, all I had to do was say the word Scientology and the police would walk the other way. And lastly, I just want to say all of this was Hubbard doctrine. It was the intention. We can provide some of that doctrine for you so that you know what's going on. It's not happening to infants like it was to me all those many years ago, but it is happening to kids as young as 14 years old under our watch right now. I'm not angry. I just want it to stop, and I don't want there to be a street that represents my pain and my abuse and my lack of what I went through, my 20 years of torture.
Thank you.
Powerful.
That was great. Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
And they just let him, I love that they did, I think there's a lot of respect there. And I have a feeling they are reading that book and they know what, they get it, I hope.
Yeah, I believe that too. I believe that too. And
Yeah.
I hope he also, felt good and got some kind of release from, getting these thoughts off his shoulders as well, and have someone
hope so.
listening. Absolutely. And we are still welcoming people to call in the meetings. Anyone who wants to join. I don't know if you are regularly posting up the meeting links, or is it mainly Amy who is doing it?
Well,
right now?
Amy's thankfully, Amy has taken on the not respond. She doesn't have to do it, but she's been doing it. So I share hers to, in case there's anyone that missed it on hers, I reshare it. And sometimes there's a meeting that pops up that she may not be following, and then I'll post that and tag the people that call in. Say if it's
Okay.
Disability Commission or something like that.
Yeah. So definitely follow Amy M on YouTube.
Yes.
I think my lovely moderators can put Amy's
Another
link out there.
powerful speaker. Yes, he does great at the meeting. So do you. Everyone,
Yeah.
I think everyone does a great,
Yeah, absolutely. And Amy, I mean, she will share her own story in her own time, but some of us know that there is also a personal, background why she feels so strongly about it, about this cause, and you can hear it when she calls. So,
yes.
You had something some new information or some news to share with us, right?
Yes. Well, okay. A while ago, Mona and I were talking about Serge Oblinsky's law that we want to get passed. Well, it's not necessarily. It's now at the process where it is going onto the desk of the actual person. I'm not going to say who, because Scientology, they're going to be trying to figure out where it's at. But it is officially now going into I had a meeting this morning. It is officially going into the process to see whether or not they'll be willing to pick it up as a bill. And it's just going to go through the legislative unit, and it's going to go through the legal and all that stuff. And if they pick it up, and then they'll go to the floor to vote on. So, and if it doesn't this year, we're going to keep trying, because it's a very important bill. It's and so
can you give some background on it?
Absolutely, and Mona and we were doing it way back. Even Michael and Serge were involved with we were trying to get this through. So it's about, we all know Serge Oblinsky, that he became disabled due to a horrible accident. And they basically gave him his $500 and said, kick rocks, and which is horrible. So, and he's lived there, right? He was there his whole life. He grew up there. He had nowhere to go, nowhere to turn to. And they just left them, defenseless, basically. Yeah. And so what this will do, this bill, and it's not targeting just Scientology. It's basically anyone who has been either, say, in a position of, I want to say peonage, or it's like anyone that's been part of an institutionalized whether it's a religious order or something, and they have been completely dependent on that order for their survival, for their housing, and then they're kicked out or they quit. Like now, if that happens, they can go to, like, the government does have like workforce development to help them and everything. But this bill would make it to where the state can then recoup any money from so it'd be like recoup from Scientology. You know how like the Aftermath Foundation was able to pay for Serge to go to school and get his his hands and everything he needed, his teeth, all that stuff. But what if there's a time Aftermath Foundation doesn't? There's so many people coming out that this Aftermath Foundation doesn't have it for, say, somebody. This bill would make it so these people, they could go to the school, they could do all these things, and workforce was like, yes, you can do this, this, and this. But instead of taking it from the state money, or because then they can then bill, and so Scientology would have had to pay for everything that the Aftermath Foundation paid for, which would free up more money for them. So if they're, so maybe the state would say, yeah, you can do all this, but but not your teeth. So then the Aftermath Foundation would only have to pay for the teeth. But the stuff that the state was willing to help him get, they can do that. But Scientology will be the one who's going to be charged for it. And it would just help it make the state easier to accept these kind of cases and to do more if they know that they can recoup this money. So, and I'm hoping, it sounds like an easy bill because it doesn't cost the state anything. In fact, we're actually saying, here's how you can get money to help fund your programs. And so why would they not want to, get that help? So when Mona, she's the one, she's more brilliant at talking about it. She was like saying, so when they're trying to figure out, okay, we want to send him to school. Okay, where can we take that from? It'd be a line item. Oh, okay, from this, the Serge Oblinsky bill. And then we can bill Scientology for these services. And so it's not a big, overwhelming law, but it's a way to hopefully help the state recoup money, and which would help free up things, so for any of these foundations, it would hopefully free up some of what they are doing, so they could have it for other people as well. It just brings in, it's because really who should be paying for him? It should have been Scientology all along. They should have been, and it kind of makes sure that, so the person isn't just thrown out in the street, that they are required to make sure that that person lands somewhere. And they would have to also possibly be part of making sure they have services before they turn their back on that person.
Yeah, absolutely. And at the time when hopefully there will be a time when this huge abusive real estate scam will collapse, there will be some cities that will have some pressure to take care of the people who will be out of their volunteer work, and who will need to be adjusted to the real world once again, I think.
Correct. But see, this bill would force Scientology to pay for that transition for these people because they were dependent on them. It's not going to completely fall on the state. So
Absolutely.
They will have to pay for the damage and because they owe these people. That you can't just, okay, kick you out and then it's gone, so.
Absolutely. I'm also, have you ever looked into this kind of like a back pay situation? Could anyone ever sue Scientology, do you know, for back pay?
I we're just that was being tossed around this week. I absolutely love that idea. Yeah. I don't know. And that might be something like I want to do more of the legislative, because I think passing laws is something that can really get things done. And if anyone likes to do the legal things and try to write up laws that you can think of that could really make a difference, or because for me, there's a lot of loopholes, and see, that was one of the loopholes, trying to get people what they need if they're kicked out and so, and like I said, Mona's way better explaining it. That's not my, she's really good at that. But yeah, I mean, why not try to figure out, and that's like, everyone should go to Mona with that. It's like, okay, help me, because there's another law I want to work on. I said, so I'm brainstorming, and I'm like, okay, I need Mona to help figure out what, like, her 2 cents, because she's always really spot on with this stuff. Because there's other laws. You can think of how deal with the loopholes. There's just so many loopholes.
Yeah, because I'm just, this is, I have no kind of legal knowledge. I'm just thinking that the sea organization contract, for example, which is made, that is not even legally binding. You have people that are doing slave labor, forced labor on daily basis. I mean, you should have a right to get back pay if you decide to leave.
And sometimes you could even challenge it in court. Like, what about, like, because they make you sign a billion-year contract, right? So why can't somebody, a former Scientologist, go, they say you declared me an SP, but I signed a billion-year contract. I want, like you, I am, like you broke the contract. I'm here. I want to, like you better fulfill your end of the deal. And you could, you could challenge. There's so many ways to challenge it.
Yeah, you could say I want my $47 a week for the nearly a billion years that
Yeah, breach a contract. So there's a settlement. Even if they don't give you the whole money, to say, okay, you need to come up with a settlement. And in arbitration, you say there's okay, you better whatever, and just turn it back on them, because that's half the fun. Like, that's everything that we're doing is really turning their stuff against them, right? Like, they fair game, so we fair game them back, and so it's we're learning all their tricks. They invent, so they were turning it on them. So I would love to see somebody do that in court. It'd be hilarious.
Yeah, exactly. And was there something else you wanted to share also? I think you were mentioning about a couple of different things. I'm not sure.
Well, I found, like, our law library, which is right in downtown, they have a lot of great access to different little seminars and access to a lawyer. And they are having a seminar. I don't remember exactly. I sent it the link, but and it can be done by Zoom, so you can join in by Zoom. And there's and it's basically, is there a civil harassment? And there's a few other cases too, but like civil harassment's one of them. So, and there's going to be lawyers there where you can join in and ask, what the laws are with civil harassment, what I need to do, what not, because there's been a lot of talk about civil harassment and stuff. So it just basically look into the law library, the LA law. There you go. Is this civil harassment? But there's other great classes too. And there's another one about how to use the databases within the legal databases, Lexis, and I forget the names of them, but I'm signing up for that one too. And you can learn a little bit, because a lot of things like research, you can research cases, and they have the databases at the library. Now, everyone may not be able to go to the library, so I don't know if they have an online option to tap into their databases. They may. I need to look into that more. Maybe I need to do a whole story on that, on the library. But a lot of information that, even like you're saying, if you don't have a legal background, I did go to paralegal school. I still haven't done my certification, but still, that's just such bare minimum. There's so much you need to learn, and to really get hands-on. So I want to really look into more of these things, because they also have how to do civil suits, and so a lot of stuff that we can kind of self-train ourselves on, especially because we need to protect ourselves. We may not always be able to hire lawyers for everything, but if somebody's going to start doing stuff, or like Scientology wants to do this and try to harass with, something, maybe you can get a civil harassment. People may not want to go up against Scientology, but it doesn't hurt to get this little bit of skill set in for ourselves, and grow in what we know legally.
Yeah. And to know your rights and know where the line is actually drawn, so you do not cross that.
And know the laws in your area. So many people, they might quote a law like, this here, but it's going to be different for different countries, even different cities, and states and everything. There can be little nuances. So really know the laws and stuff, and in your area.
Absolutely.
And your rights.
Absolutely. Now I lost the train of thought, but maybe it doesn't matter. Yeah, I was just giving an example of, our protesting over here, where, we have very limited opportunity to share any kind of video image of the city. I sometimes try and do it a little bit, but, I need to be careful for the Scientologists, because they try to use the law to their advantage. So we need to, we need to be a little bit smarter than that as well.
Absolutely.
And
What
when
that
I found
reminds me
out,
is, oh, no, go ahead. I'm sorry, but you just remind me of something else I wanted to talk about. But after you're done.
Yeah, when I realized that they were abusing the YouTube privacy complaint system by planting Scientology, for example, behind me on a video image, footage. I really had to think again how to do it, but I think we've been successful so far. So it's just about finding out what you can do, and I keep on saying it all the time when we are protesting that I appreciate everyone who's watching the video and sharing the video and subscribing. But when we go and protest, we are going there to meet the public. We are going there to warn people who are passing by. We're going there to hand out promotion material. So I appreciate everyone who's watching our protest, and we've been having good audience. But the main purpose is to educate the public who is, facing Scientology all over the city in Copenhagen every day.
Absolutely, I agree. And that, but you just reminded me of something, because
No.
talking about copyright strikes and stuff. So, they have their stand, their, whatever it stands for. It stands for garbage, but I mean for, nonsense. But they have their YouTube channel for that. Okay. And they put one out, they took and I don't really care that it's out there. I mean, I have it out there, so who cares? But I did do a copyright strike to see where that went. And they did remove the video. But then there's a lady, I forget her last name, but her name's Rebecca something, from Freedom Magazine, which is the same ones that are going after me, with different things. And
sorry to interrupt, but
No.
did they post your footage on their channel?
Yes.
On the Scientology network or another channel?
No. It's on YouTube. On their YouTube. Oh, it's called Stand. Right now they're really going after Alex and Laura, and then they put one about me. So it's like, So I'm like, oh, I'm flattered. It must mean I'm over the target. Not as much, So it's like, okay, but I just did it because it's like, okay, well, this is mine. So and then, so what happened is they did take it down, but then they challenged it and saying, fair use, even though they didn't change anything and it's not really educational, but they had all the legalese. And so they sent that to YouTube. So YouTube said to me that, well, okay, unless because it turns out for copyright, it has to actually be copyrighted. And then if you don't prove that you're in some kind of federal litigation for a copyright strike, we have to put it back up. So I'm like, that's fine. That Scientology can have that win. That's fine. But what's going to happen is that when I respond with my answer to YouTube, it's not just going to be like, oh, like I disagree, or I'm still holding on to my rights to sue in the future, which I will put all that legalese in there. But it's going to have a boatload of information on what this YouTube channel stands for and what Scientology stands for. It's my time to educate YouTube completely on that fair gaming mostly, and what they're doing, that the three people that they keep putting on these videos, how they are being tortured and fair gamed. And two of them, because they left on their own cognition to leave, and they are being harassed and traumatized because they left. So they're going to get educated. And so great job, Stan. Great job, Rebecca, whatever your name, I forget who her name is, but great job. That's fine.
Yeah.
Because now YouTube corporate will know about you guys. Yeah.
And actually, now when you mentioned Alex, I was thinking a little bit about the fact he was talking with Tori also recently, and advertised the IAS protest that he's arranging tomorrow in UK. And he said that a lot of the kind of bad publicity or whatever they are trying, the slander they are posting all over social media, is because he is having an impact, and he has managed to gather a huge press attention. So there's been major newspapers in UK writing about his activism work, and I think we need to up our game also in Denmark, and in the US, but that's a little bit of a different ball game. So I don't really know how that can be done in.
I will have more for me on that in the near future, but I'm not ready to talk about that part yet.
Okay. Okay.
But I agree with him because actually that's what he taught. I've been thinking about that too. And he told me that when we met here, about you should be putting it out to the press. So that I am going to start that. But I agree. So I have plans in the making. I just, until they're concrete, it's not because I want to keep a big, until they're concrete, I just want to.
Hey, Laura.
Yeah. Hey, Laura. It's like, I want to, when they're concrete, but I agree with him completely. And so we need to get like the addresses. And so that I am going to be reaching out to the media as well. But and I'll have more on that as things get more concrete and like how to do it and whatever, how I want to do it. Because, but I agree 100%. We need to get the media involved.
Yeah, I have been, I would not say lazy, but, not that active on that area either. A couple of the bigger protests, I have actually created the press releases that I have sent to media. But actually, I think there's different kind of avenues that might be a little bit more effective, and get more individual contacts in the press might be the most useful way to proceed. But
maybe
more
we
of
need
that
to talk about it.
Yeah, I think so too. So let's just keep it between us for now.
Because ours is already watching, that, but it's okay. They don't know what we're going to do next. It's all right.
I know. Yeah,
I wonder if they're selling some advertisement time on their channel, so we can.
Exactly. I actually had the privilege of reading some of the input they sent to the police, where it said that I was protesting on this and this day on my channel. And then the other days it looked like I was sitting in my dining room doing a stream. So yeah. So they are watching everything. So hi, Osa.
They are, because I know she sent clips of like when like when she's trying to get me arrested, she had like the, all the stuff. And it's like,
yeah.
Don't worry, we're going to get you arrested, Kirsten. You're going to be the one going to prison. Like, I'm convinced that she will, her and Mock, they're all going to prison. For crimes against humanity eventually. They will be.
Absolutely. I have a bone to pick with Moxon as well. So
me too. Absolutely. Well, you know what? When's the next bar? Everyone's like, we could tell you how to report lawyers that abuse things to the bar. Report his license. Absolutely. I don't know how he's still licensed. It's beyond me. But.
Absolutely. Regarding that, the communication and the slanderous, statements made regarding us, can we send that to the California State Bar somehow?
I have.
You have done it already. Okay, great.
Oh, well, but it's my own individual complaint. Everyone has to have their own individual complaint.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Okay. So if you find, things are slanted, and they may say, no, it's not quite up to where, like that's what they sent me at first. It's not quite up to where we can intervene, but they've still been educated. And if more people do it, maybe if they see a pattern that may take it to the next level. And, Moxon does complain. He's like whining to the, cry. He's like such a crybaby. He's like, oh my God, they reported our guards, the OPSYNC 60 times to BSIS. I'm like all excited. I'm like, wow, we got 60 people to do that. Because I put in 2 complaints. One has been, granted, and the other is I'm still waiting on it. But great, that maybe teach your guards not to violate people's rights and not to commit crimes, and to wear their patches and all these things. So, but see, the same thing goes for his license. Okay, if he's doing things that are not lawyerly or that are not legal, you can report them. And even if they say, okay, this doesn't rise to the occasion, they've still been notified, and then they will hopefully eventually see a pattern, because that's how we all got kind of drawn into this whole protest. It's like, wait, there's so many people saying basically the same thing, like little variations here and there, but there's a consistent pattern.
Absolutely.
Right. And so that's like with this reporting, when there's when they're doing their reporting, it's one person, but if we have like 60 people and it's going basically saying the same thing, and there's a pattern, it might be little variations, that carries its own weight to, to hopefully move things forward too.
Yeah, I agree.
In my opinion.
Yeah, I'm not aware of this. Stylord is saying Moxon's kid is in hot water in Chicago. I'm
Yeah,
not sure
he
what
has
that
another
means.
kid. I don't know that.
Yeah, I was not aware of that. So do
Well,
do enlighten us.
well, he's not going to be happy with. I know Henry Font. They served his case, whatever. He's not going to be happy with that one. I mean,
Yeah.
they're not serving it on Moxon. They're serving it on the sheriff and the city for withholding vital information in the CPRA request. So
Yeah.
either they're going to keep covering up, or I don't know. Eventually, I have a feeling like eventually the government's like, okay, maybe we've been covering up this long, but now it's going to cost us. No, forget it. And then they're going to release that information, and it's probably going to be very damning and damaging.
Yeah. Have you also requested the CPRAs surrounding these recent events that they've been having on L. Ron Hubbard Way regarding the permits and so forth?
Yes, I do all of them. I mean, and then Yvonne, who's also a very smart cookie, said,
Yes.
you know what? She goes, do the CPRA not just for the permit and everything, but because because we're trying to figure out whether or not there's some shenanigans. Because, and I'm not saying I am not saying, or even there is, but it's kind of weird how I got one email saying we have nothing for Friday. Then all of a sudden I talked to the police commission, and all of a sudden, yeah, Friday's closed. So
Yeah.
she's like saying, well, look into what was the memos and everything that led up to the even getting her application. So in the pre-application, see if there's anything where they put that in there. And so, yeah, so we're expanding the net, so to say.
Yeah, and I guess this is a new, maybe this is a new nickname for moccasin, saying that we reported their guards indicates that the guards without the patches and so forth are directly hired by Scientology, not a subcontractor.
I'm not sure about that. I mean, I still think they're op sync because the uniform and everything, and they said they are, but I mean, it could be, but even if it's op sync, they're not going to sit there and watch every time that what their people go in and whether or not they have patches. I think these guys sometimes they don't care, they don't know, or or they don't want to identify, so they don't, and it's a way of not identifying if they can't see what company you work for, because they know they're violating our rights. So it makes it harder to find them. But all I have to do is I put their pictures in and say it's either going to be op sync, likely, or Scientology hired them and let them do the investigative work. That's their job. So they're not going to get out of it. Just, and then with the one that was sustained for me, that was against our dear friend Ted. OpSync had to, they sent me a formal apology for violating my rights, and they retrained their whole entire company in ADA rights and terminology and what should or should not be done. So they got some education with those guards. But
was that the situation where he was saying that you were a vehicle instead of a person?
Yes, that's the one. Yeah, and so the owner was very embarrassed. Like, I profusely apologize for that. Don't worry. Like, we are having training seminars. Now, the second one that I have not heard yet was from Easter, when they blocked and they would not let me go down the sidewalk. And some of them, I said, here, they don't have patches. So there was patch complaints, but there was also the violating of not letting me down.
Yeah.
They were saying I had to cross the street, and I said, no, I do not. So to let them keep getting in trouble, and see, OpSync's going to get sick of it too, and they're going to pull away their contract with Scientology like LAPD did.
Yeah. Style is saying that Moxon's son is involved with the Dream Exchange scandal.
Ooh.
Part of the company. Well, like father, like son.
Interesting.
Interesting. Yeah.
Wow.
And
I didn't even know
normally
you had a son.
No, me either. But normally I would say it's good that your father is a lawyer, but he's not much of a lawyer, is he?
No. And he may not be a lawyer for long. Who knows? We don't know how long he will be a lawyer. And I know he's very upset about that. That's why, because, it's funny in these CPRAs that he's doing, but it's just so much slander against other people too. So it's like, I don't want to put that slander out there, but he sounds so desperate. Like he's desperately begging the city, like, please stop listening to them. Look, nothing sounds lawyerly. Like, he may put it's so pathetic, his letters, and you can just tell it's a desperate person trying to hold on to whatever he has left. And because he's probably afraid too, if he does lose his license, what that's going to mean with Scientology, what's going to happen to him if that happens. So he's under a lot of stress.
Yeah, and with everything I've learned in the past couple of years, I think he's under extreme amount of pressure. from the
Yes.
organization, from the executives, whoever is in controlling
well,
him.
there's a
So
lot of losses, and there's been a lot of
yeah,
losses. There's a lot of egg on the face, and so yeah, it's getting harder and harder. He's losing it, and then Jennifer, the wannabe lawyer with no credentials, just none of it. They're all looking foolish at this point and
yeah.
desperate.
Yeah. Are we fully on map of the organizational chart of OSA in LA at the moment? Is it Jennifer who is in charge of everything, or do you know
Jennifer,
who?
no, Jennifer's not that. She's a legal, like she's their
No,
legal.
Kirsten. Sorry, I mixed
Kirsten,
Kirsten.
yes, Kirsten is like, I think she's as high up as, from what I understand, like Mike Rinder, but I hear they kind of separated duties after Mike Rinder left. So one person can't just leave and take away all those positions. So I think they divvied it up from what I understand. Don't quote me because I'm not 100% sure. But
Okay.
yeah, so Kirsten is like extremely high up. And she's the
Yeah.
one who does not want to be public facing. And that's why she's very angry that I'm putting her name out there at city council, and she wants to get me arrested for it. But I didn't commit a crime. There's no crime that, and so, but, even Tori told me, she goes, like, all these years, I knew the person was I knew that person was there, but I didn't know her name. I knew who she was, but I didn't know her name. And she goes,
Yeah.
so now, so people are getting to know the name. And so, and that's what has to happen. It's like, it has to come to the light. Like light is like its own natural disinfectant, right? So we have to get
Absolutely.
everything out in the light. They can't hide anymore. They're not going to, and that's just what we have to do. Let's bring it all
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
And I
I
know
want to
they're
bring
angry.
up some comments here,
Okay.
just to. In the meantime, I've been starting some comments. Irish Smart gifted 5 memberships. Thank you so much.
Hey, Iris. That's
She's
cool.
she's a
She's doing great things.
self-proclaimed stalker of mine, my biggest stalker.
Well, hey, we all, that's a good kind of stalker to have.
I agree. YRB one is saying it's funny that the city is asking Scientology to prove that it's no parking. No parking zones are not controlled by Scientology. I agree.
Right? Well, they were asking, like, where is this coming from? Like, do you have, because like, there's nothing in the city. The city has nothing except for they had, and so they, so that's why they're asking them, like, where are you getting that? And I'm also asking them to prove that the city put those parking signs there. We know, I bet they're not, and that they painted the red lines. I bet it's going to come back that they don't have any information on that either. They have no information also that they're paying there, because they have to, since they got the R permit to kind of be the gatekeepers and the guardians of LR each way. They have to prove that they have a $2 million bond every year. They have to submit proof, and they have not been doing that either.
Yeah, it's a little bit of an upside down world, I feel like sometimes, because it should be the city that is in control of all these permits.
Well, because they haven't. They've had all this, safe pointing and control and their tentacles and everything. And now they don't like it that those tentacles are getting snipped off. But it's just like, okay, so now reset. Now you have to do everything you want, but by the law and by the book and where the city's in charge. So it doesn't mean you can't keep it as no parking, but you're going to have to go through the process legally and see if you get it. You're not going to just hijack a street. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. Sophia is saying common sense tends to be less common in Scientology.
And LA, that's like, they're kind of like one and the same sometimes.
Oh, you think so? I think the Scientology is operating exactly the same way here. There's been a lot of these exactly the same kind of way of operating as they do in Los Angeles. For example, they can suddenly show up in a prime location in the city doing their personality test, for example. And I never see any kind of stance there where, companies or businesses are selling anything. And they are selling the book. So they absolutely should not be there, free of charge, doing the personality test and selling Dianetics. So,
right. And they're doing that all over the cities now too.
Yeah.
That's where they're going now to try to do that. And Barnes and Noble sells it and is giving them platforms to speak on it. So I don't know if anyone wants to join me in kind of like boycotting Barnes and Noble. And I called where the guy was, I forget his name, he's an actor. I'm not really big in the Hollywood stuff, but he was doing like I guess a pep talk on like, hey, how Dianetics changed my life. And I'm this big fancy actor, but you know, so I called, and I know Amy called, and then I also called corporate and reported to them that basically you are helping and assisting a human trafficking cult to recruit. If you're okay with that, then keep selling the book. But if you're not okay with that, you might want to reconsider life choices, you know, and just stop selling it. I don't know, but they just don't know. They just think it's a self-help book. They don't understand it's the gateway to being recruited.
Yeah, absolutely. But I don't know what would be the equivalent in LA, but let's say, you know, you have in New York, if you're selling something on Times Square, for example, for sure you have to pay to be able to, you know, set up a kiosk over there, I would assume.
Here,
I don't know. Is it more free?
I don't know if it's completely free, but see, we always had vendor issues. Like it used to be very illegal to have the street vendors, and they spent so much time, you know, kicking out the people who are selling fruit and hot dogs and all these things that people wanted. So they finally, I think it was right after COVID, they kind of eased up on that, and so they're allowing it. But I don't know if they have to. I believe they may have to pay a fee, and I believe like if it's food, they have to have, you know, like I guess, you know, get checked at a health department. Maybe I'm not sure exactly how it works. But I think they ease up a lot because the city just doesn't care. They don't want to enforce that stuff anyway. But I'm not sure. You know, that's a good question though to look into.
Yeah, I met some people who work for the city in the permit department, and they said they absolutely want to know if Scientology is having their book sales on one of these prime locations where, you know, you normally never see any street vendors because you are not allowed to set up anything over there.
So, and that's New York or here?
No, in Copenhagen.
Oh, in Copenhagen. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's a real good rabbit hole for us to go down on, actually.
Yeah, I mean, the opportunities are endless. So if anyone, you know, feels that they have free time and they want to, you know, volunteer into looking into something specific, you know, just send us a mail and we'll figure out. Yeah.
And we'd be so grateful because we're, you know, sometimes there's just not like all these ideas you want to do something, but if someone could take it and sink their teeth in, like Journey, I see her, she popped up here she's doing amazing things with, because I've been wanting for a long time to catalog all the different buildings, and it's like, oh, well, Journey's doing that. I'm like, what? So that is so amazing. We don't have to reinvent the wheel. She's doing it. But same thing with all these other things. If someone could take these projects on, and then, you know, we all help each other with that, it's great.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially Journey's map. I have it. It's like kind of like an add-on on my Google Maps. So I can see, you know, any kind of Scientology organization anywhere in the world. On just my Google Maps, it's amazing. And I can only imagine, you know, how many hundreds of thousands of hours she's been using on it.
Yeah. Not to even have the wherewithal and know-how. It's like, I see that's where I'm not technically, I wouldn't know. So I just want to pick it. Like, I want to know about East Hollywood. That's really in Hollywood. That's all I want to know right now. But I was like, I don't have to reinvent the wheel. I just go to her, and she's so kind and gracious and shares the info, which is amazing. So thank you, Journey, for that.
Yeah. And Professor Kakan is saying I have the best mods and subscribers, and I totally agree with that.
Yes.
I think my moderators are best in the world, and so are the subscribers. I think it's always a good vibe, and that's kind of, you know, because we have heavy topics we're talking about. I want to, you know, keep at least the chat in line. Everyone is, you know, getting along with each other, and we're focusing on the work.
That's right. Stick with the work. There's so much work to do.
Yeah,
more to come.
There is. I sometimes in the middle of the night get an idea, and it's like, you know, I should do this, and it's like, when am I going to do this one? I have a lot of ideas, but it would be just great to have more, you know, heads and pairs of hands to help with it.
Look at I see Journey with that comment. See, that's wow, that's amazing there too. That comment. She has over 2,000 names. Thank you, Journey, for doing this.
Yeah. It's amazing work, and
it's very important.
It requires, you know, a lot of attention to detail, excellent memory, which I think for me is like slowly fading away. So it's
hard
good that we we have Journey on top of that at least.
Yeah.
And if you can put Journeys, actually, because I've been trying to put also when you go live, I've been trying to share Journeys channel. It
Yes.
would be amazing if one of my moderators could put the Journeys channel in the chat,
That'd
because
be
she's trying
amazing.
to get up to 500 subscribers, so she could set up.
She should be well beyond that at this point.
I know.
No way. Oh, okay. We have to no.
Yeah.
Yeah, put
Yeah.
in mind too. We'll share it because no, this stuff is so critical.
Yeah.
She needs
Absolutely.
we have to get her to where she can go live. Can she go live yet? Yeah, she
Can go live,
but
but you know, she could get some, for example, memberships, because all these
Right.
public, you know, files and databases she's accessing, she's paying out of pocket.
well, no,
to
yeah, we
do.
need to get it her where you can get monetized
Yeah.
because time is money too. Like, because you know, sometimes you may be
Absolutely.
doing this that you could be doing something else that. So it's really,
Yeah.
you know, we're all grateful, you know, when everyone helps out for the time and the energy and efforts and right. And it does cost money, like even just to have like YouTube where you don't get all the ads and we could just, it's so much
Yeah.
costs money. It's people don't realize that the memberships helps offset,
Yeah,
you know,
it
that
really
stuff.
does. And I'm so grateful now that, you know, I can cover the cost of, like, you know, the cards we're handing out and the signs, because I'm not doing this for money, but you know, we have
Me neither.
cost when it comes to protesting. So, you know, just to get your cost covered, that would be ideal situation for everyone. And that's why I really hope you will subscribe to Journey, so she will get a little bit of new
Yes.
audience over there, and she's doing really great work. So,
And I hope she has on her channel like how to, in the meantime, Cash App or something, her, you know, for her,
Yeah.
because that stuff does cost money, the all those websites and stuff. So
yeah,
any help, that'd be
absolutely.
great.
Yeah, because the reason why I'm thinking about this was because she was looking into something in LA, and apparently there was some kind of fee. You know, maybe it's not more than $15 per time, but it adds up when you
It
are.
adds up, and plus sometimes
Yeah.
you know you're working so hard on it, and sometimes you know it's yeah, and you, like I said, you could be doing something else to you know make money or whatever, and you're putting this time to this fight. So
Yeah.
you know, like if people can help, that'd be great.
Yeah, and you're absolutely not boring, and
You
I'm
are
pretty
not
sure.
boring.
No, and none of us probably thought we were ever going to
You're
be
not boring, and
YouTubers.
and her content is not boring either. Like we're fascinated, so no.
Yeah, absolutely. Just admiration towards your work.
Mhm.
So, Amy is apologizing because she hasn't been calling so much this week, but
All right.
you know,
Detention for you, Amy. That's all I can say. You're in detention.
yeah,
Next week.
exactly.
You're allowed to have your own life. I told her, right? You're allowed to live your life, and if you have things like you know to do, it's okay. You're allowed to do that. It's like it's you know I don't want anyone to ever feel like oh my gosh if I don't do it then I'm failing or I'm failing that. No, it's we all
Yeah,
have those
absolutely.
moments.
And you know, now we have a lot of people. Of course, we can still welcome more, but you know, we have a bunch of people that are calling in. So even if you can't call one day, you can be sure there's going to be people calling in
Yeah, there'll be
anyway.
somebody.
So
Yeah, just don't let it happen again, Amy. That's all.
totally unacceptable.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. T was in the chat, but she's gone now because she has a big day tomorrow. So T is actually in UK right now, and she's gonna attend the IAS protest tomorrow.
Wow, and T is killing it on TikTok.
Yes,
You gotta share her TikTok because her TikToks, they are blowing me away. And like I share every time I see them. She's doing such a great job with it because there's a little bit different of vibe on TikTok, and you can do these like kind of fast. Like she tells the story of it, but more like fast acting kind of video and stuff. Very well done.
yeah, and she's also been making these series of unnecessary deaths on in Scientology on YouTube. So she has got a lot of like this, you know, excellent edited content as well. So it's
Like long form,
yeah, definitely worth looking into. And she's just saying that we need to look out for pirates tomorrow. So I guess she's also dressing up for Halloween as well.
Yeah, and tomorrow we have to go. You know, there's going to be our Halloween. I don't know what time yet it is, but Halloween.
It
I feel like
starts
going
at
there
11 a.m. is the start of the
11
event.
a.m. Like,
Yeah.
does that mean the kids don't have school tomorrow? Aren't the kids in school?
I don't know how Halloween is it a holiday in in the US in that sense. I have no idea.
I don't know. That's crazy. So okay, so we had to get Public Works then
Yeah.
go get some. Yeah, well, I don't think we're going to be getting candy this year. I kind of think I don't think they're going to give us any candy, so we may have to bring our
Yeah.
own.
Yeah, I was I was being smart and I got my own candy, and I'm definitely gonna be out tomorrow as well. So look out for that as well.
I'm just
I'm
going
gonna
out as all at LA.
yeah. We have a little fun plan for tomorrow. So we'll definitely go live as well. So it sounds
Awesome.
like it's gonna be busy tomorrow.
Yeah, sounds like everyone's going to be going live tomorrow, but that's good. I
Yes.
mean, it's okay, you know.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah, and all over the world. And I really hope the IAS protest is going to be successful. They promise sunshine and dry weather
good.
here, but apparently in UK it's going to be raining a lot.
Oh
So
no. I need to figure out what time LA time it's going to be. So I'm not good at that. I
the
don't know all these
IAS
across the pond.
protest. So that's going to be starting, I think, 2 p.m., which is then 6 hours, no, 8 hours behind. So it's going to be already 6 a.m. starting tomorrow.
Okay, so when I
morning.
get up, it's going to be okay.
It's going to be
All right.
on already.
So I'm going to try to catch everyone.
Yeah.
Heavy rain, that sucks.
Yeah. But it seems to be a tradition that it's always raining at the IAS protest. And they've been doing all kind of funny business over there, setting up some temporary fences to not allow, the protesters being where they want to be. But at the same time, they are causing, it's dangerous because there's no like a walking path on the road. It's just a countryside road. So
wow,
what they're doing is actually, in my opinion, they are endangering the protesters the way that they are setting up.
Now, can they call they call them bobbies or the police over there? That's what I'd be like.
Yeah, the police will be there. The police will be there. But I don't know. I think UK is a little bit of different kind of beast because I know at least that this year they're not allowed to have the little Davy doll there anymore because that was upsetting the Scientologists.
Oh,
yeah. So
sad face.
Yeah. Yvonne is saying the pay and labor has to be a lawsuit by the individual, and that has to happen within 2 years of separation. Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah. If that law does get put into the codes of California, it will be a triumph as Scientology will be officially a pariah organization that is destructive to individuals. Yeah.
True. Although it's not being named as but yeah, there'd be,
Yeah.
because it could be other entities as well, but they would be able to charge the entity where they came from. So all these people could then go in and tap into it and they're, oh, okay, Scientology again and again and again. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I think more people are going
Mona's,
to be leaving.
Mona's in the house, listening while playing lawyer. I don't know what that means.
I do. But yeah, so he's the one, I mean, always tap Mona's brain if you want to do all this stuff. She's helping me with this, we like just to do the final touches on it before submission. So I'm really excited. I'm hoping it gets picked up more later, but at least it's just a matter of trying, and even if they don't pick it up this year, they're getting educated or there's ideas of formulating. Maybe they'll remember next year, hey, that was a good idea, or we'll just redo it. But guys, always says if you think of a law that could really work, just put it in. You never know.
How much work is it to actually prepare something like that?
Well,
a proposal.
I mean, you just have to really, well, they gave you a questionnaire of like, what's the problem? What's it, and you just kind of fill it out. But basically, even if you just have an idea and you don't really know how to formulate it, you can still turn it in because it goes straight to their legal team. And the legal team will say, and they said, even if you, whatever, you could put it in the way you want it, it would still get tweaked and changed. And the legalities. So, but like, so if anyone's saying, oh, I have to do a whole lot of work, or I don't know how to do that, I don't know what I'm doing. No, you just write it down, a simple, basic, this is what the problem is, and this is what I think would fix this problem. And then you turn that in and let the legal department see if they can work with that. It can be very simple, or you can be as in-depth as you want.
Okay.
We're more the in-depth type, so we put a lot of work into it, and stuff, but you don't have to. Simple things, because people are
Yeah.
really smart. We have a smart crowd. Like, so many times we get emails and oh, I have this idea, I have that. Great. Like, write it down. Just try going to a local, just try sending it, and we'll help you figure out who to send it to, but just try it.
Yeah, definitely. Professor Kakan is saying Moxon's son is executive director of Chicago Scientology. Okay.
Wow.
He's also drawn a salary from a slush fund trying to become a new stock market for African American. Yeah, I heard about it. I was really disgusted again about
I
these
didn't know
kind
that
of
was
ventures.
Sorry. I didn't know it was Moxon's son involved. I heard about that entity, but I didn't know that Moxon's son was involved.
Yeah. Figures that he's involved. Yvonne is just correcting me, saying that the permit starts 11 a.m., but the party is starting at 4 o'clock. So you don't need to head out there that soon.
Okay, good to know. Thank you, Yvonne. And we will see, would be the eyes and ears, I guess, because the city they don't have the money to send inspector. We were told that flat out, because they're supposed to send inspectors every time, and they said we just don't have the budget. So that's another thing that they take advantage of. And so I said, well, then I will be a volunteer. I'm not going to sign a billion-year contract, but I will be the volunteer and do it for free. You don't have to pay me even $47, and so, and others too, like there's a lot of people, Griselda, Ashley, just different people going there with the cameras, Matt, checking it out. So we have to be the eyes and ears.
Yeah, and picture famously tells more than 1,000 words. So if you have unedited video footage, that should be more than sufficient evidence to them about what's been going on. So,
and it helps because, like, when I'm having these discussions, because when we got kicked out, we're going to have a meeting about that. It's nice to have like a little snippet of something I can show you, because they might not watch they're not going to watch the whole video necessarily, but we could have a 1-minute snippet of something like, look, this is the issue. This is what we're talking about. That goes a long way.
Yeah, absolutely. So tomorrow there's the Board of Public Works and City Council. Are you going to be present at the City Hall tomorrow?
I'm not sure, since it doesn't, if it's going to start at 11, I'll probably do it on Zoom, because the City Council is going to be in Van Nuys tomorrow. If they were going to be there, because it's for me, it's like, it's a lot of travel time for 3 minutes, the city, or 4 minutes at Public Works, when I could do it on Zoom. If it was both meetings, I would go. I had a little bit of a fall this week, so I'm still a little recovering. So I think I might just stay home, but I do want to see what's going on with the permits, and do what I call, or auditing, or whatever, or checking it out, or investigating, or inspecting.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So and Lara is there a little bit closer, so I assume she's gonna go then see their first thing, what's going on tomorrow when they start to set up. But like Yvonne said, the permit starts at 11, but it should be first 4 p.m. they are starting the event. So.
Well, it's good to spread it out anyway. People get our eyes on what they're setting up, and there's some, so it's good to kind of catch it at different times.
Absolutely.
So that works out good. But hopefully, we'll hook up later. And but now, if it was at 11, I needed to be there, then I would consider going downtown at 10 for and then coming up. But if it's more flexible than that, I prefer to.
Yeah, absolutely.
And not let them know when we're coming, so they don't know.
Yeah, maybe you're gonna be there at 11. Who knows?
Maybe I might change my mind. You never know.
Yeah, definitely. So definitely look out tomorrow on Audit's channel. I think Lara is gonna be in LA on as well. Ashley, I think she said she would also go by the Blue tomorrow. look out for aliens and witches in Copenhagen tomorrow, and for the pirates in St. Hill, UK. It's nice that there's a lot of activity going on, and just every time I see someone protesting and doing a live, it makes me really happy.
Oh, me too. I know. I need you to train me more with what you do. I love your approach to it. I want to say hi to Rika. I saw Rika saying hi. So hi, Rika. But
Hi, Rika.
I need to, yeah, I need to be trained. You know what? I love what you do. I want to look further at what, because I like it too. Like I want to maybe get business cards, and well, there's more like I want to. I won't take too much time now for that. But like I think you're an inspiration on how you protest. You guys always have it. It's fun. It's fun. You know, you have a good time, but you have a lot of great content and great.
Yeah.
You have a lot of things that you pass out. I love the, you know, it's a little cheeky, and it's, you know, all kinds of things.
Yeah,
So,
we need to keep it a little bit fun, and you know, you have to start, you know, the way you feel most comfortable with. And what we were doing in the start, we found out that Denmark is not the right place for that type of activism because of the law, and also because I personally didn't feel comfortable with it. So I just want to encourage everyone to, you know, do the protest their kind of way and the way they feel most comfortable with it. For example, Jojo Bananas was first time protesting this week with Tea and Irish Mart in Scotland. And
awesome.
she did amazing over there. And her approach was also, you know, totally different, but she was talking with people and engaging people. And I think that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
We don't need to.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
No. We all of us, we don't need to be shouting like Streets LA, even though that has a lot of impact. But
But one thing about Streets LA though, like I do like is I love how he incorporates the humor. Like he's funny. Like he kind of shows them they look like clowns. Like in the way he tells, oh come on, Shannon. Like he brings a certain level of comedy to that I absolutely love and would love to replicate, because I think it's fun. And that's why he's becoming like he's going huge on TikTok, because then these young kids they're gravitating. He's like, they want to take selfies with them. I think people are designing their vacations around coming to see Shannon in the test center. But a lot of it's
don't get me wrong. You know, I absolutely admire him. I just can't do what he's doing.
Oh,
he's excellent, and I have talked about him so many times with the teens in Denmark, because they know who Streets is. They have seen him shouting in front of Hollywood Boulevard at the information center. They might not know his name, but they've seen that guy on YouTube, and he's so funny.
Do it. I can't do that, and I can't do like he is at the police commission. I was like, I could never. It takes like a certain level of like, right? Like I can't do it. Like I just, you know. So yeah, I can't either. I can't protest like that. I appreciate people who do and can and stuff, but I'm very different too.
Yeah. And Brian is here. Good to see you, Brian. Saying also Joe is awesome, and I think Joe is awesome. Joe has brought the music into our protest, and that's something that is really engaging to people. So definitely that's something I think everyone could incorporate, is to, you know, put a little bit of music in the background. It seems to, you know, draw attention from the, you know, people. They are checking out what's going on over there. So
yeah, Jojo and Gonzo, like, right, the music is so great to hear the songs, and because it's like specific to what we're going through, so we can all, you know, like it's so relatable. So I love the music. Keep it up, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's become you know, one of the pillars in our protesting is always to set up the music when we show up, and our signs. And
the Davy. Now you're saying they can't do Davy, but you can still do Davy tomorrow where you're at. They just can't do it.
Yeah, I can do Davy. I mean, I can have 10 Davies if I want to have, but apparently it was too offensive in St. Hill. So
they were actually told like you cannot. That's.
Yeah, I think the police told because there was a lot of communication, because, you know, they were trying to ban the whole protesting there.
Wow.
Yeah. So they wanted to block the St. Hill organization, that they would not be allowed to have protests there at all. And it was a long process that only got resolved very recently. So there's a lot of things that they need to comply with. staying there, and they also need to be very mindful how they communicate to the Scientologists.
Yeah. I mean, you have to. People don't sometimes understand that sometimes you have to just do what's safe for you. And because Scientology can push certain levers. They have a lot of, power. They have a lot, they're still on the inside a lot. Like, even though, yes, we're working on getting them unhooked but they're still not unhooked. So sometimes you just do need to be safe for your own safety. Like no one wants to end up in jail on a Friday night anywhere in the world. So.
Exactly. Yeah, Haggis is saying Scientology set the doll was a mockery of their leader.
Of course it
well,
is.
duh. Of course it is.
Effigy. It's an effigy. Okay. I mean, that's
exactly. I mean,
that's okay.
Yeah, why wouldn't you be able, be allowed to make mockery of a guy who's got these Photoshop pictures and his hair plugs are in straight line and,
But I have a question on that too. Does that mean all like everyone in America and all the Scientologists around the world won't be here tomorrow? They'll be over there in England because it's going to be everybody, or is it mostly just England?
I think it's mainly Europe, but if you have like some, huge donors, they like to show up over there. Also, some of the famous people like Jenna Elfman, and then that lady, this Bart Simpson, what's her name?
Nancy Cartwright.
Tom Cruise usually is there also because he's, their biggest PR weapon when it comes to oiling up the local city officials.
Can I add something to that too? With Tom Cruise, don't forget that here in America, the Olympics are coming. We already know that the mayor's already kind of teaming up with Tom Cruise with that. So we need to kind of get proactive with that as well. And also, I want to mention too on TikTok that Scientology is trying to get their footprint there, and they're having all their little orgs or missions all around the country, kind of doing a lot of these, and they're so goofy and stupid, but they're doing that too. So there's a lot to be aware of. There's more things coming that we need to kind of stand up against besides all the Dianetics tables popping up. Scientology is on a push to get their recruitments up.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why it's frustrating them when we are protesting at the time when they have their biggest recruitment events. For example, when we did the protest at the Culture Night a few weeks ago, and they had open doors and they were advertising it as a Culture Night event, which it's absolutely not. And a lot of people, thank you for all the people that sent mail to the actual event office because they said they would be in contact with Scientology because they are not allowed to advertise their open doors.
I love it.
With the Copenhagen Culture Night when they are not affiliated in any kind of way. So.
Then that's like Faith and Blue too. I heard that her little birdie told me that it's not going to happen maybe the same way next year, that they're waking up to it, that it was really a Scientology event, I believe. So I think things are going to start changing as more different entities realize what's going on. So this is great.
Yeah. Oh, and Marie is here. Good morning.
Oh, hey, Marie.
Thank you so much. This is going to go towards the vest that I have promised now that we are going to have high visibility vest for everyone in our little protesting friend group here. Because it's going to be very dark and very cold winter, so we need to be visible, and I think it's a great way to have the message on our backs, so people.
I wonder if they have like goldenrod, the kind of suits. That would be a cool. I don't know if that would be so high visibility, but that'd be neat to have like a goldenrod.
Yeah, we have a lot of things planned, so
awesome.
So there's a lot of stuff to come. Thank you so much for spending that hour and a half with me, even though I didn't really have anything planned in advance. But I, just wanted to have a chat with you and talk about a little bit what we do, and just again try and encourage people to activate in your hometown as well if you have Scientology location, and call the meeting. I'm very often in a supermarket, buying dinner while I call the public works meeting. So it's not a matter of location. You have 1 minute. It's, you're a bit nervous a couple of times, maybe the first time you call, but it gets very easy afterwards.
But then it becomes cathartic. I think most will agree. After a while, it becomes cathartic to be able to, to talk to these people who can actually make a difference. You can, like some people that kind of get a little bit more like yell at them, say, hey, what are you doing? You're not doing the right thing. Or everyone has their style. And that's like protesting. Everyone has their style. Some works for some, some doesn't work for the other. You just figure out what works for you and just do it.
Yeah, exactly. And, that's why I sometimes want to, switch it up. I was really proud of myself when I got this great idea that I'm just going to say that, the L. Ron Hubbard way is always a horror show. So, they don't need Halloween over there.
That was so amazing. I was like cracking up. I was like, oh, no, so you did it. That was so, well, you always bring it anyway. And then, of course,
not always.
Yes, you do. And the accents, me, I'm like, I love all the I love it when you get all the European, all the accents calling in. It's just like, we're, but they don't know that we're not here. We're like, we don't have to advertise where we are, so,
No.
and we're a melting pot here. So yeah, it's great. I love it. So thank you.
Exactly.
And thank you all for doing it.
Yeah. Thanks for everyone calling in. And also, I'm not always thinking it's even that bad thing if they knew people were crawling around the world, because that just means that they know that there's more eyes on them than, just the people in LA.
True.
And that can increase the pressure as well.
That's true. Good
yeah,
point.
you have Halloween already there. That's, of course, Australia, they are already on a Friday. So
it's hard to believe. Like that still freaks me out that I'm just on a nice Thursday afternoon and it's like Halloween over there. It's so crazy.
Yeah, exactly. I have an app on my phone where, I have put different time zones. So I know what time Haggis has. I know what time Audit has. I know what time Mona is in and what time is Australia, just to, avoid the counting hours every time. So,
awesome.
yeah.
And I want to say thanks to everyone in the chat. It's cutting off the names for me, so I'm not really seeing the names because it has like so I know who some of them are, but for everyone, I thank them for all of them, because really without the chat, like, I say they're the wind beneath our wings, and, they help keep us going, and then they're just amazing in so many different ways. So I appreciate y'all.
Yeah, I appreciate all of you as well. And thanks for, hanging out with us, chatting for the past hour and a half. I think time passed by so quick. It was like on 10 minutes and suddenly we're already on an hour and a half. So I need to let you go.
But we're talking about what we like, so what we're invested in. So
yeah, exactly. And it's a passion project for everyone, also in the chat. It's something that, is on our minds, and it's really good to also exchange some ideas and thoughts with each other, because it's not always, you who has the, best ideas in all aspects, and especially regarding Alex's comments regarding the press attention. That was something that really stuck with me.
Me too.
That I need to start that now. Seriously.
Yeah,
So,
especially since it's working for him. Like that's what's so encouraging about it, is that he's gaining momentum. So I was like, I need to pick your brain about, best ways to do that and stuff. So yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, Diana, for becoming a member. I appreciate that very much.
And thank you, Mirjam, for having me. Sorry.
Thank you for coming on. I think you have given a lot of information today, and it sounds like there's also a lot of secrets that you can't share with us yet. So
we will.
Maybe next time.
Yeah, we will.
Good.
We'll iron some things out first.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you for joining everyone in the chat. Thank you for the moderators. For me, it's the end of the day, so I will hit the hay, and you need to get on with your day also. I'm sure you got a lot of stuff to do. So we'll see everyone tomorrow on the streams, whether it's in LA or Copenhagen or UK. But just make sure you have notifications on for T and Apostate Alex and Lara and Audit and myself, of course. So you can see what's going to happen tomorrow.
Channel surf. A lot of channel surfing tomorrow.
Exactly. So see you guys tomorrow, and thank you for today. Bye.